would you say that you've had a happy marriage?
Yep, I would say I have had a happy marriage.
What was more important to you, your family or your career?
No doubt at all. Family.
What was the best years you spent with your family?
Well, I think the best years were the years that you guys were home and growing up. They were great years.
And of those years, younger kids, older kids, what was better for you?
Oh, I can't say that because it was all good. No, there's no doubt that was the best time of my life.
Why?
Oh, who knows why?
Come on.
I think it's instinctive for some people.
Yeah, well, you're really good with little kids.
Well, there was, no doubt. Yeah.
You seem to trust them.
Well, I seem to be relatively good at that, yeah. And most little kids trusted me.
Yeah.
Not very many that I had shy away from me.
President Trump recently issued a warning from his Mar-a-Lago home. Quote, "Our currency is crashing and will soon no longer be the world standard, which will be our greatest defeat, frankly, in 200 years. There are 3 reasons why the central banks are dumping the US dollar: inflation, deficit spending, and our insurmountable national debt. The fact is, there is one asset that has withstood famine, wars, and political and economic upheaval dating back to biblical times: gold. And you can own it in a tax-sheltered retirement account with the help of Birch Gold. That's right, Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k, maybe from a previous employer, into an IRA in gold. When currencies fail, gold is a safe haven. How much more time does the dollar have? Protect your savings with gold. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of happy customers. Text Jordan to 989898 and get your free info kit on gold. Again, text Jordan to 989898.
So you spent a lot of time with me when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that particularly?
Well, what can I say? What do I remember about it? I don't know. I remember quite a few things, but I don't know if any of them are god awful important, you know.
Well, pick one.
I remember the time that we hatched those chicks in the porch.
In Nipawin.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember driving home with you to Nacum a number of times and talking the whole time because you'd never stop asking questions.
Yeah, well, hasn't changed much.
No, I know.
You kind of are who you are.
Yeah, that's right. No, there were lots of good times, Jordan. All good times.
I think I remember mostly when I was a little kid reading with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that was great. That was so much fun.
I thought so. Because what I remember, I was pretty little, but what I remember is that, well, first of all, we had a Dr. Seuss book come every week or something like that because we were in a book club. And you used to come home every night. And after dinner, we would lay on the rug. We had one of those hooked rugs. And we'd lay on the rug and you'd put your arm around me and away we'd go through 1 or 2 books. And you taught me to read, you know, and I remember that going on for quite a long time. And it was wonderful to have the attention. And well, and to be given that gift of literacy as well, and to have it instilled in me in such a young age. I mean, I loved reading. It's really shaped my life in every possible way. So, and I remember, one of the things that was different about you, we had our differences when I was a teenager. It sounds kind of like the ones you had with your dad, both stubborn. And I had hanging around with rough kids. And we misbehaved a lot of drinking and that sort of thing, and you put up with them. That's about all you should have done, really, I suppose. But most of my friends, they didn't have a good relationship with their fathers. They had no respect for them. And it was,
I know.
Yeah, it was really rough on them, those my friends. Those are my teenage friends, or, the ones in junior high. Particularly.
Yeah, I know.
And, when we were alone with my friends, they'd have a bad interaction with their dad or something, and they'd be pretty hard on him, badmouth him. And I could tell they were mad, bitter, resentful, angry about it. And they had their reasons, or hurt by it, or a combination of all those things, disappointed. But I never felt that way. I mean, even when we had altercations.
Yeah.
I knew that fundamentally, despite whatever altercations we might have, that you were on the side of my better angels, let's say.
Well.
Yeah, well, that's a tricky thing to manage,
Always that.
Yeah, but it's a tricky thing to manage because when you have kids, you kind of, on the one hand, you want to like the kid, but on the other hand, you want to like the kid that they could be even better. So you have to kind of balance that acceptance for and appreciation for who they are right now with a desire to foster further development. And I think mothers sort of specialize in the former and dads to some degree specialize in the latter. It's not that cut and dried, obviously. But the fact that you had belief in my potential has always been of inestimable value. And one of the things that really hurt me when I went on tour and talked to so many people was that was so lacking for so many people. They didn't have someone who really had their back, like really, when the chips were down. Both you and Mom, I knew of that. I knew that was true. And that gives you kind of a foundation underneath you, Well, you obviously had it with your grandparents and your mother.
Yep.
I don't know what it would be like to grow up without that. You'd be pretty lost, pretty alone.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt it would be tough. Anyhow, Mom and I always said we were young and dumb, so everything goes well.